Hey, Frankmeister, what do you say? Here we are on a Monday night, and who we got with us? Look who we got. Chris is behind the crime door. Hey, lady, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, we were wondering why it was so quiet for last. and and here we go.
Yeah,
You know what I
you
mean?
are you are right. Because
I
you
was
know,
like, man, something's not right.
I was like, there was part of me that was like, are we going to go through the end of September and not hear anything?
Right,
I was really
right.
starting to think that, but yeah, I'm like, okay, now this makes a little bit of sense, but still I'm a little
Well,
perplexed.
we'll probably end up going live again tomorrow night because Nick's probably going to file his responses to the
Oh,
stuff.
I'm sure.
You
I
know what I
am
mean?
sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Deb. Good to see you, my dear.
What's going on, Melissa? Ziggy, She Warrior, Gibbo. What's going on, bud? CJK,
Sorry, Frank, I was
Leslie.
running late.
Oh, you're fine. I told him ahead of time you were running behind.
I was
Uh,
I was running, hurrying. I was like,
we
dang.
got Miss Sport with Steph is in the house. We
Hey,
got
Kev, how are
Grab It.
you?
Grab It's in the house.
Hey, Randy.
Robin B. His stepfather passed away just a few days ago.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that.
So we've already a few times gave him condolences, but he's here. It's a good thing. Metal Mama, good to see you.
Hey,
16
Metal
o'clock.
Mama.
Olivia, Roxy, good to see you.
Hey, Rescue. How are you, my friend?
Joe, what's going on, bud?
Where's Jinxie? Is she here?
She'll be here.
Okay.
Kyra, Linda, added another mod last night at midnight.
There's Jinx.
There she is. Mod Boss is in the house. What's
Hey,
going on?
63 clocks.
What's going on, Constantine? Miss Deb's True Crime Notebook. Good to see you, Karen. Making sure I ain't missing nobody.
Hey, Cecil Hotel. Good to see you.
Miss Rescue's in the house. Nana.
Hey, Nana. Good to see you. Always good to see you. Hi, Phil.
Coach is in the house.
Yep.
And he's right in front of the TV because there's football on.
Of course there is.
2 games, as a matter of fact. Cecil Hotel, good to see you. Okay. Reno Hightower. It's a new name. Good to see you. Phil Bond, Blake.
Hey, Joe. How are you? Hi, Wanda from Missouri.
And Wanda from Missouri. Good to see you guys. We can do a little bit of chat before we read this because we're also going to go over the motion to compel. As I've got that too. I sent it to you.
Okay.
But go ahead. I mean, we've had many discussions since the last time anything was filed, and I'm like, man, we talk
Well,
at least twice a week, and we're like, it's too
I
quiet.
will tell you that I was not surprised that they want the jury out at the crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
However, I was extremely shocked it was the defense asking for it.
And they didn't want Richard Allen there. And they didn't want Richard Allen there.
I think that's really wild.
You know, I can see
if they're going to take the jury, Richard Allen has to be there.
Right. And
that's not going to fly.
You actually got 2 or 3 different scenarios in this whole mess. Honestly.
Yeah.
I see 2 of them can happen. The north end of the bridge, go to the second where the former second platform was, because that's where the last picture of Abby was taken. Or you can go down the country road up the private drive to get to the south end to get a good look at that side. But I do not agree to actually going to the crime scene due to the fact is you're going through rough terrain at that time of the year. I mean, you're going down hills, down in
Oh, it's extremely dangerous. There's no way that they're going to let them go to the actual crime scene. I don't think, unless there's some way that they make it between now and then, that they put in boards or some kind of walkway to walk down there. There's no way.
I mean, you're going to probably have age range, maybe 50 to 60-year-olds on the jury. You know, you can't expect them to go do all that.
Yep.
You know?
No, I absolutely agree, but I definitely think that they will get to see the CPS site, and I definitely think they will get to see the Freedom Bridge where he ran into
the girls,
the teenage girls, and I also think that they will let them walk the actual trail to the bridge where they will be able to see all of it. They'll be able to see where the girls were dropped off
and
all of that.
Exactly. All right, let's get to this document.
Oh, my nose.
Yeah, man. Frosty and Mark were supposed to have a show at 11 o'clock last night. And Frosty said he wasn't feeling well, and it was earlier in the evening. So he moved the show back an hour to 11. 11 o'clock came around. And no Frosty. And then everybody said, we were all in the chat, and man, they were like, man, Frank, go live. Just go live. Please go live. You know? So I went live at midnight till 2 o'clock this morning.
Oh my goodness.
And was right back up at 7:45. And
yeah, we were talking real soon after that.
Yeah. Took a nap. All right, y'all see that pretty well, all right? It says motion for jury to view scene. Richard Allen, by counsel, pursuant to Indiana Code 35-37-2-5, asks for the court to order that the impaneled jury be transported to the Freedom Bridge, the Monon High Bridge, and to the site where the bodies of the victims were located, as well as the site of the old CPS building where the prosecution claims Richard Allen's vehicle was parked between 1:30 and 4 o'clock p.m. on February 13th, 2017. The view would be requested as it would greatly aid jury's understanding of the evidence presented at trial, including observing and feeling the unique topography of the land, something that cannot be understood from photographs and videos. Now, see, this is things that we have had talked about over the years. If you have not been out there, you know, you can't really get a good understanding through pictures. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
and this
absolutely.
is stuff that we've talked about for years.
I really feel that that's why the bridge was redone. Was because with the anticipation that a jury was going to be brought out there.
Right.
And I really feel that way. And so, you know, there's no reason there's no reason that the jury can't walk the trail and go to the bridge.
Right. Exactly. The main trail. The trailhead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Specifically, the request is for the jurors to walk the trail from the Freedom Bridge to the Monon High Bridge to view the opposite end of the bridge where the victims were allegedly abducted.
And they're not going to be able to do that. There's no way they're going to be able to view the opposite end of the bridge unless they bring them in the private drive.
That's what I was saying. That was the third option. Yes, exactly. And finally, to view the area where the victims were found, and then the location where the prosecution claims Richard Allen parked his car.
Hey, Captain Howdy. Welcome. Good to have you with us.
From 1:30 to 4:30, 4 o'clock p.m. on February 13, 2017. These locations are less than 2 miles from the courthouse. Juror transport and viewing could easily be completed in under 90 minutes. I don't think so.
Absolutely not. There's no way it's going to take 90. That's going to take longer than 90 minutes. I don't know who they think they're going to have as jurors, but that's we've been out there. We know.
Right. Allen and his counsel, Andrew J. Baldwin and Bradley Rosie, Jennifer Ajou request to be present along with the prosecution. observe the viewing under whatever direction and guidelines the court may order under Indiana Code Section 35-37-2-5. If, because of any security concerns, the court does not wish to allow Allen to be transported to view the scene, he waives any such right and asks that the court order this jury view occur without him. And signed by Andrew Baldwin. Mm-hmm.
Interesting that Baldwin's the one signing it.
And they would have plenty of security. Believe that.
Oh, absolutely. They will have that place locked down. There won't be anybody.
State police, county.
There. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get to the chat. Let's see what people are saying. And then we'll go over the compel. Yeah, Randy says he can't wait to see us all next month. Yeah, it's been a minute, Randy.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to miss it. I really am. The closer it gets, the more I'm just like, ugh. But I'll be thinking about you guys.
I'll be going live that day. I have every year.
Well, good. I'll be watching from the birthday party.
Well, you won't have much attention to the TV then. You got grandkids to worry about.
Oh.
Looking for questions. Oh, Lord. We're just all chit-chatting. Hello, guys. Anybody got anything to say out there so I can read some comments? If not, I'm going straight to the compel. And then we'll have a powwow. I don't see any yet. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll be sleeping good tonight. I know that.
The whole thing, though, Reno Hightower, is that Richard Allen may be frail now, but he wasn't frail in 2017.
All right. Can you guys see that, or do I need to blow it up a little bit?
Oh.
If I can find it on this.
I gotta find my readers because I can't see it.
It's 3.5 pages long. I'm looking for. I don't know why it's not there. Where you at? What?
Trying to see out of my glasses.
I'm trying to do the same thing.
They're so dirty. I'm like, what?
I'm gonna have to move dirty. Up on here.
I think Loki licked them.
Oh Lord.
I know. I'm like, what?
All right. Motion to compel the opponents to answer certified questions. Comes now the accused Richard Allen by and through counsel Andrew Baldwin respectfully requests the court to compel certain opponents to answer certified questions. In support of this motion, the defendant asserts the following. Over the course of time, several depositions have resulted in the defense certifying certain questions when the prosecution advised the opponent to not answer certain questions. The defense is requesting this court to order the opponents to answer the questions or the certified questions. The certified questions for the defense seeks the court to compel that the state's witness to answer all contained in the following paragraph. On August 10th, 2023, the defense deposed Jerry Holman and the following questions were certified. What did you talk to Sheriff Liggett about to prepare for your deposition? On May 3rd, 2024, the defense deposed Jerry Holman and the following questions were certified. A, why did it take you guys so long to get a blood splatter expert in April of 2024? B, why did it take so long for the investigators to get a blood splatter expert? C, did anyone in your unified command or greater law enforcement investigate team investigative team ever suggest that you should do that? Retain someone to discuss blood spatter during the investigation. On March 22nd, 2024, the defense deposed John Calupo, and the following questions were certified. I'm assuming some of that talking to the prosecutor was just talking about the pleadings I had filed on, and what does that say? And he filed things like that. B, and so what were you asked to do when you got the document? Affidavit signed by John Calupo. C, did they give you any reasons why the defense could not go see where Richard Allen was living? D, do you know why they made the decision for a no phone call policy in Westfield Correctional Facility? On April 18th, 2024, the defense deposed Joshua Robinson, and the following questions were certified. Generally describe to me what kind of questions these were. Questions for the affidavit prepared by Elise Gallagher. B, I'm not asking you about what Miss Gallagher talked to you about. I'm asking you what questions you answered for the affidavit. C, what were those questions for the affidavit? On May 3rd, 2024, the defense deposed Tony Liggett, and the following questions were certified. What was the purpose of that unified command meeting? On September 13th, 2024, the defense deposed Steve Mullen. Mr. Mullen refused to answer questions posed in subsections A through D below. Rather than answer the simple yes or no question, Mullen repeatedly made conclusionary statements to defense counsel that Richard Allen was the man that Betsy Blair observed and was the man Sarah Carball had observed, etc. The deposition has not yet been transcribed, so the defense cannot be certain as to the exact questions formed at the deposition. But the questions certified were to be effective of A through D below, or if answered, would have led to questions similar to A through D below. Is your timeline and theory of the case fatal to the prosecution's case against Richard Allen if the person Betsy Blair observed on the bridge is not Richard Allen? Is your timeline and theory of the case fatal to the prosecution's case against Richard Allen if the vehicle Betsy Blair observed at the CPS building was not Richard Allen's vehicle? C, if Betsy Blair observed one person and Sarah Carball observed an entirely different person, is the prosecution's timeline and theory of the case as it relates to Richard Allen's fatally flawed? And D, if neither Betsy Blair nor Sarah Carball observed Richard Allen on February 13, 2017, or February 13, 2017, is the state's timeline theory of this case as it relates to Richard Allen fatally flawed? Wherefore, the accused respectfully request that these motions be granted and that the court order the opponents to answer the questions that were certified. Andrew Baldwin. Oh boy. Oh boy. Delay.
All they want to do is they're going to go back to the old adage that the eyewitnesses didn't describe the same person or described things that were different. And we all know that eyewitness accounts, sometimes people do that. Sometimes people see things like somebody would have seen him wearing black rather than blue. Somebody would, and it all depends on lighting and everything about where they were. And again, you're trying to remember and recall something that you saw, that at the time your mind saw it and your eyes saw it, you didn't know you were going to have to describe or recall.
Oh, yeah. Because at that point in time, you're not expecting anything out of the ordinary to happen.
Exactly.
You know, I'm just
and again, I think it's all moot because Richard Allen confessed 61 times to things that only the killer would know. And I don't see the defense in any of this stuff talking about that.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking that myself.
They're not
I'm like,
debunking any
of
the
confessions, right? And I'm
where's
like,
the debunk of that defense?
I'm like, hold on. Would you rather try to debunk the confessions and then try to worry about eyewitness accounts? 61 of them.
They can't debunk the confessions. That's the problem. So they're going to try this, and it's not. I just don't see it flying. It's not going to fly with the jury.
I'm still waiting to see if there was anything found in the search of the home. That's what I'm waiting on, honestly.
Yeah.
The car or something.
Because, I mean, it's just, like I said, we still don't know everything that was found, everything that was discovered in the search of his home and the search of their vehicles. We don't know what they were able to extrapolate off of all those cell phones, all of the data that they got off of computers and tablets.
Right.
And we don't know any of that.
Even though the defense has already said there was no digital trail of anything.
Yeah.
See, they pulled that shit before.
Mm-hmm.
In the 136-page memorandum, they tried to pull that crap. And I'm thinking, hold on, man. You guys are trying to circumvent shit, and people see right through it.
The defense isn't going to talk about that either.
No, exactly.
They're not going to talk about the stuff that was found. They're not.
I'm telling you right now, this case is over when Nick finishes his case. The defense ain't going to know what the hell to do.
I mean, when Nick, I'm just telling you guys, you wait till you hear Nick's opening statement.
Right.
Because I think that's going to set the tone for everything. And again,
I've not seen
opening statement, he's not going to put everything in there.
Well, it's not so much that, but we've never seen Nick in real action. If he gets angry or if he's dramatic or anything, we haven't seen any of that yet.
Right.
Now, we've seen it out of Rosie, no doubt, several times. Baldwin, he's kind of a laid-back kind of guy, but he did kind of get a little chip on his shoulder up in Allen County at one point. So let's check out the chat. Support says it's a great idea to have the jury to go to the crime scene, but could be a problem if someone that's what we're talking about, Steph. You might have a 50, 60, 65-year-old juror that's not going to be able to make that trip, and then you expect them to get out of there by themselves? No. I just don't see it happening. And I think we would all agree it's too dangerous.
It is.
At that time of the year, the temperature's starting to drop, leaves are starting to fall. It's going to get slippery out there in the woods. You're going to get a little bit more rain.
I just think it's not. I just don't see them going to the actual crime scene. Like I said, I see them going to the bridge. I see them possibly bringing them down the private drive.
And then I think they might even take them to the top of the private drive and let them look themselves to where the crime scene is.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And let them picture it themselves.
I mean, they may actually have LE go over to the actual crime scene and stand there while the jury is looking. They may even somehow point out the F tree and all, you know what I mean? And all of those pertinent things.
6-3 clock says they could take the jurors down the yellow brick road and still won't erase the reaction of all the confessions. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, again, it goes back to, we know that eyewitnesses are notoriously not reliable. However, in this particular case, they are so close in what they are describing that they are. You have to believe all of them, because it all points that they saw the same person. In my opinion,
dark blue and black you can confuse them from a distance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And especially trying to remember
You're right.
when you didn't know you were going to have to remember.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
And that's what bothered me about the teenage girls at that point in time, you know.
But, I remember how everybody was on them, you know, especially early on. You know, they kept saying, you know, they couldn't tell, they didn't know. People were saying, well, but she was adamant about height. She knew how short he was,
right?
Because he was her height. Remember?
Yep.
I mean, to me, that was huge. Everybody for years talked about Bridge Guy being over 6 foot tall or 6 foot tall. And that eyewitness, she was adamant he was not that tall.
Well, it was blatant to me he wasn't 6 foot tall when we got the still picture of him.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
But then again, I'm married to someone who's 6'5", so most men look short to me.
You mean tall to you?
No, short. Oh. When I've got one who's 6'5", you know, most men, you know, the average male height is what, 5'10"? Yeah. So 5'10". I'm like, you know, I used to think, okay, was Bridge Guy 5'10" to 6 foot? No.
Yeah, I could tell by his legs.
5'7"? Was he? Well, now we know.
I could tell by his legs that he wasn't 6 foot tall.
Well, yeah, because he didn't seem to have a really long torso.
No, at all.
Which he would have had if he was 6 foot tall with his short legs.
And it's hard to find jeans for somebody with short legs.
Yes.
And they bunch up down at the bottom because you got to get a length size bigger or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
I had that problem. I know. I can't find 32 length anywhere for men.
And we still don't know what he did that day. I mean, as far as, did he have a bag in the woods somewhere that had extra clothes, or did he have, you know, what did he have?
I think he stashed them somewhere.
Was it everything stuffed in his jacket? You know, we knew he had stuff stashed in his jacket, but was that it? You know, if he did premeditate this, it's very possible that he went out there and had a bag stashed somewhere in the wood.
But we just have to, I mean, Sarah Caldwell said you look muddy and bloody. What does that mean? Do you still have the blue jacket on or not? Because it apparently looks like it's a brown type of sweatshirt underneath the blue jacket. We knew that.
Right.
So was she seeing him in the sweatshirt type deal, or was she seeing him in the blue jacket? That's the question to me. Because he could have ditched that blue jacket along the way somewhere, and we just don't know.
Well, I always thought that the jacket looked like a Carhartt to me.
That's what I mean.
Even though it didn't have maybe the Carhartt emblem that we could visibly see on the chest, it was still that type of jacket. That's the type of jacket that it was, in my opinion. That
video of him in the car and Kathy walked up on him?
Yes.
That jacket.
Yes.
Something like that. Yes. I mean, I've always questioned that. Did he ditch the jacket and Sarah saw him in the brown sweatshirt that had mud and blood all over it? Or did she see him with the blue jacket on with mud and blood all over it?
Right.
I mean, you got to think of these kind of things, man, because they've never found anything with any of the clothing. So he ditched it and came back and got it somehow and got rid of it.
And, you know, and that, or he walked out there with it on and he was bloody and muddy, just like she said, and he went home and he washed it.
Yeah, but why would he? Maybe they did find blood in the car.
Is, you know, Kathy said, yeah, he has a couple of different coats.
Right.
I mean, she told the investigators he had those clothes.
But I mean, common sense would tell you that you don't get in your car all bloody and muddy because you're never going to be able to get blood out of the.
But sadly, criminals are not notorious for being the smartest bulbs in the box. And what I say by that is they all make mistakes.
Right.
And if he was in a hurry to get the hell out of there because Derek was there hollering, and by this time people were showing up, and he knew people were out there, and you know what I mean? And he's trying to get away.
Right. Well,
because
we know that Brad was on coming up the driveway. We know Derek was on the trail.
Exactly. What if he did plan this? What if he put something on the seats of his vehicle?
Yeah, it's possible.
I mean, all you have to do is throw a tarp in there, right?
Right. Give me a second.
But I mean, those things I think those are the kinds of things that are going to come out. We're going to learn that. And sadly, for most people.
Give me a second. Somebody timed out Carrie. Can somebody check on that for me? Please. She's trying to watch and she got timed out or something. I don't know what's going on. Thank you. Go ahead, Kristen.
No, I was just going to say, that the comment was made about being able to wash blood out of clothes. We all know that Steve from True Crime Web, he's our go-to criminologist. And he told us, and many times, that no matter how many times you wash them, there still will be remnants of blood. Now, will it still be there 7 years later or 6 years, 5 years later, whenever, you know what I mean? That remains to be seen.
Right. Laura says, I don't think the crime scene is as important as just having awareness of how far the bridge extends past what you see at the creek. It is a perfect trap and it could control too. But I think they want to try to demonstrate how hard one person would be able to kidnap 2 teenage girls and get down 2 hills, cross a creek alone, and unalive both of them by himself.
Oh yeah,
that's what they're trying to. Yes, that's what they're trying to prove here in this go to the crime scene thing. That is my opinion.
Oh, I agree. They're going to definitely say that this was more than one person.
Right.
That still doesn't make Richard Allen less guilty.
But I do agree that Richard Allen should go to the crime scene. I want to know what, if I was a juror, I want to know what his reactions are when we go to these places. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Body language, all that.
Well, he's going to really relive the whole thing. I mean, if he goes there, it's
if he's anything like Ted Bundy, Bundy never relived any of his crimes. He didn't even relive it in the courtroom. He didn't even relive it when they were taking him out to the crime scenes. He was just all laughing, giggling about it and all that. Richard Allen could do the same damn thing. We just don't know what mindset he's going to be in. But I do like I said, if I was a juror, I would love to see his body language, his reactions,
Oh yeah, they'll be looking for those kinds of things, and he'll be coached by them as to make no reaction, give no reaction of any kind,
unless they dope him up real good.
Yeah.
Stephen says, did Murdaugh go to the crime scenes with the jury? I didn't watch that trial until the very end of it, so I really don't know. Yeah, 6-3 clock says yes, they did. And they sealed a guilty verdict for many of the jurors. Or I see what you're saying. They sealed the jurors' names who actually seen the crime scene. Laura says figures or show how tiny or frail he is now. But Leslie, we do not know if he would have some kind of unexpected
visceral
reaction. Yeah. Ms. Deb says the defense wants to do this in order to try to disprove the prosecution's timeline in my opinion. And that I like that one too, because me and her talked about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that they're going to try to prove everything that the defense is saying happened that day. But again, what are they going to do about where Richard Allen was?
Hi, Carrie. Good to see you. I could see the look on Ari's face if he ends up going with the jury to the bridge. They might as well have him say, down the hill. That boy is not talking, I'm trying to tell you. He is not testifying. If he does, that'd be the biggest mistake. What's going on, Howdy? Good to see you, bro. Laura said,
Richard Allen isn't as frail as they want people to think he is, and he wasn't frail in 2017.
Until you see him in that red jumpsuit, and he's put on weight again. What if the defense didn't even know what could possibly trigger him? P.S. You can cross the creek without going straight across through the deep part and up a hill. Yeah, we've already talked about that. They'll take the main trail to the trailhead. It splits off, and they'll go straight to the bridge, north end. Actually, walk out on there, like I said, because they'll want to take it to the exact location where Abby's last photo was taken, and that's where you're able to walk out on now. And then if they need to get over to the south end, go right up the Weber driveway. And yep. Brad can't say shit. He's a mean dude from what I heard. They want to get.
He was. I've heard the same, but I don't know.
What's your opinion on why they want to bring the jury out there? My opinion is they want to give a visual of the location, and like I just said a few minutes ago, they want them to get a visual in their head what it would take one person to do all this to unalive two girls in the amount of time that was allotted. Like Deb said, with the time frame, and I think it's because they want to prove that, try to show that one person couldn't have committed this crime, which coincides with each other. I'd say the defense wants to show jury how hard it would be to control the two victims and get them up the bank. Pretty much what I'm saying.
She's not going to deny it, Cecil. I don't see her denying it. She might deny the fact that she won't allow the jurors to be taken to the actual crime scene.
Right. It's too dangerous.
It's just, yeah. That's it. For those that haven't been there, that is a very steep, treacherous terrain for even the most agile and in shape people, let alone people that maybe have physical challenges, whether it be weight or knees or just being frail,
right.
Older, whatever.
Baldwin would not make it up the hill out of there.
I don't know.
Who are you talking to, CJK? Where's Teresa
at? Rescue says, Frank, your chair squeaks. WD-40.
Cynthia, I prefer that he go back to the site because, like me and her were just talking about a few minutes ago, you want to see his body language, the way he reacts at being at these places that he's being accused of being with the girls at. That's a perfect scenario.
Carrie said she's bringing the WD-40.
Yeah, okay. Well, now there's no trespassing over there now because Ron's son put a fence up.
Yep.
So how are they going to get over there unless they go? I mean, the only way I can think of is they can go onto Ron Logan's property because they took the back fence down next to the cemetery, and you can actually look
they
down
could
there.
definitely do that, but that is even steeper.
I mean, they could just look out and look down,
and they might be able to do that.
Right.
I mean, they could go down the same way that Barbara McDonald went down with Ron Logan when they did that interview.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're claiming he doesn't want to go to the crime scene because of security reasons is what they're trying to claim. And you know damn well all ISP would be there, all Carroll County would be there, you know. Just like when the day they were looking for the girls, all the cops everywhere. Sounds like the defense has changed strategies. They're going to make RA the frail and argues he's not in good enough shape to commit these crimes.
All they got to do is show the videos of him before this crime, just weeks before.
Hey, Scarlett, good to see you. There is no advantage to the defense, Kyra. It's a manipulation thing. They can't get around the confession, so they're going to try to manipulate these jurors into thinking that there wasn't enough time for one person to commit this crime.
Yeah.
And the time frame that they're trying to say. Yes, jury selection begins the 14th of October in Allen County. From 8 to 5, they're drawing in 50 jurors per day until jurors are selected. That's another thing. They're not going to make him go. I'm telling you, they're not taking the jurors to the crime scene. They're not going to do it. And the judge will explain to him, what if we got a 70-year-old person that you select as a juror, or Nick selects as a juror? You know.
If anybody thinks that they're going to stalk the jurors, I'm here to tell them that that's a federal offense, and they will be in some serious legal trouble.
Man, the hotel they're going to be at, we don't know where they're going to be at. It's going to be flooded with law enforcement guarding that place. Guarantee it. So nobody can get in and out and try to influence the jurors. That's always how it works. By them requesting this, can they still ask for continuance if she doesn't grant it? Yes. They sure can. But the way she's trying to push this trial to start, she's probably going to reject it, honestly. If they take them out there, they need to take him out there. Exactly, Roxy.
He has every right. He has every right to go out there.
Right.
That's how it works. That's how the justice system works. That's why OJ was allowed to go to both crime scenes.
Yep.
When the jury did their little jury visit.
All you have to do, Peace Tran, is get his booking photo. That'll tell you the size of him about that time. Well, no, you can't say that. You just got to find a photo of him from 2017 and compare it to it now. Yeah, he'll be shackled, ankle shackles, the whole works, if they take him out there.
And she may not let him go.
Right.
It just depends. I mean, it's up to her on whether he goes or doesn't go.
And I think Nick should request him to go. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. Oh, yeah, I do. I do. He'll be shackled.
Yeah, that's what I think too, Deb. She will approve it with stipulations on safety.
Right.
Because if the jurors go, she's going. So Judge Gold will be going as well.
Exactly. See, so that's what we've been discussing. You got to imagine some of these jurors are going to be older and have physical problems. That's the whole problem with this whole. The defense didn't even think about that. But if the defense is the way we think they are, they're going to try to eliminate the elderly from being or older people in the jury for this purpose.
Yeah.
Let's see, I seen 2 jury pools being brought to crime scene today, and defendant was not there, so it's a thing.
Yep. Yeah, they sometimes don't let them go. I don't believe Scott Peterson got to go, and the jury went. His jury got to go.
Jill says, I'm concerned that this crooked defense will pull a fast one somehow. Maybe they have someone for ritual creepy stuff along the trail to benefit. All right. They'll have that place. If he does go out there, that place will be crawling with law enforcement.
Oh, absolutely. It'll be checked before the jurors get there. There'll be law enforcement swarming while they're there.
Yep.
And I guarantee you there will be no drones. Nope. There will be no drone operators. It'll be a no-fly zone.
Yep.
There will be nothing allowed out there. No sightseers. They will take care of that. So we'll just, like I said, we're just going to have to kind of sit back and wait and see and wait to see how it plays out. But again, that was my thought when they redid the bridge, that this is exactly what we would be looking at one day. I just thought the prosecution would be the ones that would be requesting it, not the defense. And so I don't think the defense is up to anything. I think that the defense is just going to try to show, look how big this bridge is. Look at that. There's no way one person could have done this crime. Somebody had to have been here. They would have ran. Somebody would have gotten them. You know what I mean? They would have gotten away, whatever. They're going to try and poke holes, which is what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to poke holes into the prosecution's case. And they're going to try to put in reasonable doubt. Again, right. You guys, the key word here is reasonable. And you gotta look at everything the defense is doing. Is it reasonable to believe that? No.
Robin B says, wonder if any of the interstate police will be. Oh, Doug Carter will be there. There's no doubt.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of state police there. You can guarantee you they were very active in this case. I imagine that it's very possible that there will be somebody from the FBI there. Yep. I firmly believe that as well.
Baldwin's a performer. Say he walks across and through the deep part and tries to climb up the bank. That'll look silly. Maybe the prosecution can then show them to the path of the least resistance.
Yeah, Doug Carter will for sure be there. I can't imagine him not being there.
Oh yeah,
it's one of the biggest trials.
This is crazy. It's coming up
in a century in Indiana, if not ever.
It was slow this morning after the first drop, and I got on YouTube and I started watching stuff about Diddy, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he's requesting to be moved into a safer jail, and I'm like, oh my. If you're on suicide watch, why are you requesting that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what the purpose would be. We know someone walked the bridge river to crime scene. This is someone had a gun pointed at the girls. So what's the point? I don't see this helping or hurting. Like I said, they're trying to get around the confessions. They know the confessions are gonna get him.
I was just going to say, they know the confessions. They can't get around those.
Right.
And so what are they going to do? They're going to try to say, well, he confessed under duress, whatever the heck they come up with, which is a bit ridiculous when he's actually talking to his wife and his mother on the phone. I don't know what duress he would be under, but anyway, they're going to do that, and then they're going to try and say that there was by himself, and that's what the defense is hoping on. Right. They're hoping that the prosecution comes out with their guns blazing and says that Richard Allen is bridge guy and that he acted alone, and that's what and if that's what they say, I mean, if that's what Nick's theory is, and that's what the state says, then they're going to try that angle.
There was questions that they're claiming that the prosecution told him not to answer. Steve Mullen. I'm still we've been talking about that for the last few days, man. I wonder if they did find anything at his house or in that car. And I talked to somebody today, and they said that the whole damn town got deposed, basically. I said, "Are you kidding me?" She said, "No." I said, "Wow." I said, "For what?"
Huh.
All we know, Kyra, is they took a lot of electronics. They took clothes. They took cell phones. They took his weapon. They took ammunition. They took his car. They dug up something in the backyard.
Tons of cell phones, tablets, computers,
books.
Yeah. Stacks and stacks of books. I don't know. There's just a lot of things. They took a lot.
Yes, Scarlett, but it's still a haul. Yeah, if you come down through the cemetery, you're walking downhill, basically. So it's not that bad. It's not really that steep. But getting up there is the problem. Getting up there. I've been down there 3 times, and the last 2 times I had to have help get me out of there. The first time I had no problem.
Diddy is still in jail. The charges were not dropped against him. So I don't know where that's coming from, but that is false. That's false news. That is not true.
People say blue jacket, black or tan. Which one is it? The tan jacket, we believe the tan sweatshirt underneath the blue jacket. That's what we were discussing a little bit ago, Gibbo. We were thinking, what if he ditched the blue jacket and only had that brown sweatshirt thing on it, and it was muddy and bloody? Or vice versa, he still had the blue jacket on, the same thing.
Yeah.
Squeaky Will says she's 20 minutes late. Oh, his son's just as mean when it comes to the property.
Yeah, I believe what was hanging out underneath the jacket that everybody always thought or assumed was a fanny pack was the piece of material of a hoodie.
Of some sort, right.
I've always felt that way. I never thought that was a fanny pack or some sort of pack. I never thought that.
Yeah, give us catching squeaky wheel up on everything.
Yeah, everybody, don't forget the prayer walk for Abby and Libby is October 13th, the day before jury selection starts in Allen County. It's at 1:30 p.m. on Sunday, and it's going to be at the Freedom Bridge.
Let me tag that.
Parking lot.
Yes. And I've already looked up the weather for that day, too. As of today, it's supposed to be light rain in the morning, then turn cloudy. 65 is the high degrees, 65 degrees.
Hey, Ruckus. How are you? I miss your face.
Deb says, remember you had a tan. Yep, exactly. It says, Frankie says, as soon as after the arrest, I looked at the still pic, a bridge guy, and something in my gut intuition said, that's him. I mean, you can't get a real, you still can't get a real perspective until you actually, he walks 2 feet away from you and you look at him like, damn, he's little, you know? And he did all that.
As soon as I saw his picture, his mugshot picture, I was like, oh my God, that's him.
Convinced me.
That's the guy. That's the guy we've been looking for. I was floored. I mean, I almost fell out of my chair.
I'm reading comments now. They're talking it up now. States should say, sure, we go to the bridge. We dress like Alan, dress Alan like BG and have him reenact Libby's video.
Yeah, Deb, you're 5'4", but you're mighty.
Here we go. Here she goes again. Why you do that? Steph up. And that's why I try to explain to people it's nothing to do with what happened here. But that's why I don't believe Richard Allen walked back through the trails like some people had claimed in the beginning to get back to his car.
No.
Because when I was out on 300, it was me, Randy, Taylor, and I can't remember her name, but from up in Michigan. We went up the ravine to the cemetery, walked through the cemetery, went on 300. Well, we saw Steph from 300 in the wood line walking back toward the north end of the bridge.
Yeah. You guys think about the Green River killer, Gary Ridgway. Go out and pull up a picture of Gary Ridgway. A full picture, head to toe. This man is a little guy. He's not big. He's not huge and muscular. He's a little guy. And look how many women that man killed. It is not his size. It is not the size of these people that has anything to do with whether they're capable of killing or committing murder. It has nothing to do with their size.
No.
I'm serious.
You know what they say, dynamite comes in small packages.
They don't have to. You look at them, you know, even if you go back and look at BTK wasn't a big guy either. You know, these guys weren't weightlifters. They weren't out there, you know, pushing iron every day and, you know, super muscular and the football player physique, whatever. These were just your average guys.
It's usually a mental thing.
Exactly.
Richard Allen had almost 6 years to eliminate evidence of the crime. If they find anything, it would be a small miracle. Yeah, but people like this keep souvenirs, trophies. Did he keep trophies? They said that there was locks of hair missing from the girls, didn't they?
Well, you know, we're going to find out. Like I said, I still want to know what was so special about the box that they found in his bedroom that had that bullet, the other bullet. Why was that bullet so special to him? What is the relevance of some of the keepsakes they did find? Because we know they found stuff. Right?
Yeah. I'm reading the chat. Everybody's just chatting away about it now. He knew he could be linked to the girls.
That's the other point. He had a gun, you guys. He had a gun on a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old.
And we know this because one of the girls allegedly had said it in the audio.
A 13-year-old and a 14-year-old has a gun pointed at them, and they're told, guys, down the hill, you don't need anyone else.
Nope.
You have them right there.
They're in fear. And when you're in fear does things to the body that people don't understand. You freeze up and you comply. It's just your brain's mechanism telling you to comply.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And they weren't going to leave each other.
No.
Best friends that there was no way those girls were going to leave each other.
It would be interesting to know if he washed his own laundry or not, and did he do that day? Wash, dry, and put it up before Kathy got home, or did he leave it in the washer or dryer? I'm starting to really think that Kathy didn't know anything.
I don't think she knew anything. That's just my opinion. I believe that Kathy is one of those women who absolutely was
and kept his gun.
Heels in love with this man from the time she was a young teenage girl in school. And she'd been with him all of these years, and she would not let herself believe it. Once this came about and this has come out, she won't let herself believe it. She may so believe it now, but she didn't then.
It was a denial process that she was going through.
Yes.
Squeaky, I get you, but he kept his gun. God only knows why he kept, because he didn't realize that he had left a unspent round at the crime scene.
Yep.
He didn't realize that.
Nope. And he also didn't realize that there had been a video taken of him, because I guarantee you, if that man knew that Libby German had taken his video, he'd have taken that phone.
Yep. And then after the fact is when he realized that there was a video, and he went right in there and gave his statement. That's what I believe.
Oh, I do too. I mean, I totally believe it. He saw himself and was
like, oh shit,
I've got to go in and he was probably floored.
Yeah.
After he did that, and nobody came knocking. Like I said, this guy had been waiting 5.5 years for somebody to come knocking on his door, and nobody did.
Really, Carrie? Oh Lord, we should talk about it in the chat. Olivia, I think it turned out to be a blessing as well, all in his possession. Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that he would, people think that law enforcement in this case were inept, and that they were the Keystone Cops. But come on, you guys, they knew what to ask. Hey, Richard, do you ever loan your weapon out?
Right.
No, never. He was absolutely adamant that no, he doesn't loan it. He always knows where it is, and nobody else has access to it, period. Bingo.
Right. All these messages.
Yeah. And he knew when he went in and gave the statement that he had to say, well, I saw these 3 girls. One was tall and one had dark hair. He knew he had to talk about them because they saw him.
Yeah.
And he knew they saw him because he looked directly at her. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
I did think about that, Frankmeister. Why Alan tried to conceal his facial expressions or fake past our fiend is shocked. Morris says, question, has Alan been known to have to go out to the bridge since? Was he there when his daughter got her senior photos? I think that was before the incident, that senior photo, because she's a few years older than Kelsey.
The senior pictures happened before the murders.
Yeah, because she's about 2 or 3 years older than Kelsey.
So, yeah, that's one of the things that was put out there when people were talking about her being on the bridge that they thought was weird, because it was after it happened. Those pictures were on Kathy's Facebook, and they were posted, and they were taken before this happened.
Randy says the jury needs to walk on the old side of the bridge so they know how uneven it is on the bridge.
Oh God. I'm glad I'm not on that jury.
Me either.
I couldn't walk on that bridge, Randy.
We got Frosty in the house.
Hey, Frosty.
Yeah. What do we got here? I just seen something I haven't seen in a while. Where'd it go? All right. Cold truce in the house. I just not see a way that they can take the parties, the judge, 12 juries, the alternates to the crime scene safely. I want to see it as a juror, though. I would too, but they need to figure a way to do it. If the defense is asking to tour the crime scene, it doesn't sound like to me they plan on delaying things. Crime happened in February, not October. What's their sleazy plan?
Oh, I don't think there's going to be a delay, guys. I feel that the trial is happening. I don't see anything delaying this. Obviously, that could change tomorrow, but
right. If he stares down the families in the courtroom, how will he act at the crime scene?
As far as Richard Allen's daughter, Gail, my feeling is this. We don't really have the right to have an opinion about her simply because try to put yourself in the position of being a child who finds out that your father has been arrested for a double homicide of two teenage girls in your hometown. And, you know, the shock of that alone has to be unbelievably hard to deal with. From what I understand, she doesn't even live in the state anymore. And so for her to not be there, it could simply be the logistics that she has a job. She can't get away to be there for all the stuff that's been going on. She may very well show up for the trial. You don't know. But I'm just saying.
No, Frankie. I'm answering this question. No, the creek is not at high levels at this time of the year.
I just think we need to be really careful because I feel she's a victim in all of this. I really do.
Who's this?
Richard Allen's daughter.
Okay.
And I just think we need to wait to, you know what I mean, to see what she may or may not, because we know that law enforcement has interviewed her and interviewed the son-in-law. We know that. So they've definitely.
What are you ground at? Damn, dude. They can, but they're not going to jeopardize the safety of any of these jurors. Either way you go to get to the crime scene, you're going downhill. And then you got to go over the ravine, and that's a drop-off, a little bit of a drop-off if you're going to trail from the north end of the bridge. Now, if you go down off Ron Logan's property, it's still steep. And like I said, I just don't see the judge doing that because you're jeopardizing the safety of these jurors.
Yeah. Well, we definitely know that Richard Allen's daughter's friends were interviewed by police. Do we know why?
I have no clue.
We don't. That's what I'm saying. We don't know why. So we just have to wait. That's going to all come out. The actual trial starts on the 18th.
Cold truce is my cousin struggled, but I thought it was easy terrain. But I do like to wander in the woods.
And you're also in really good shape, Mel.
Right. We're not.
I'm just saying.
We're not exactly spring chickens anymore.
I'm just like, you're in really good shape, and you have probably really good knees.
Says that's what I'm thinking. No amount of coaching can ever cover up facial expressions and body language.
Who is calling me? What is it with people when I'm live?
Same here. I get
Lately,
the same problem.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Sorry, guys. They know better.
If the defense wants to tour that site, that's a damn good reason. Things there now are not like they were 7 years ago. Are they trying to make it seem like Nick is misleading them?
Yeah.
You have when you're actually at the crime scene, and trust me on this, I had the coordinates, state police coordinate, FBI coordinates from exactly where the girls' bodies were found, and me, Hoosier Cold Case, Marv, and all of us took measuring tape, did the whole works, 50 feet in off the creek, and marked the F tree. We marked it with an big orange dot. And I'm telling you, it's not easy.
Yeah.
But what you have to do now while you're there, you have to picture what you've seen on pictures and try to put it out there in the terrain where you're at now to get a sense of exactly where the spots were at. Well, hell, we've been at about an hour and 15 minutes.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
You know, it's always so fun with you. I always lose track of time.
We did this last night and 2 hours went by. I was like,
it's like, what? What do you mean?
I'm not doing that tonight, guys. So don't even try it. I'm going to lay in bed. I'm going to watch my wrestling until 11 o'clock. I'll watch the rest for football.
Listen to him. He says he did enough last night.
Lord, I'm too old for that shit. Yeah, I got to go see the liver doctor a week from Friday. Or when is the 30th? A week from today?
Monday.
Yep. Got to get my CAT scans.
My daughter's birthday's Tuesday. We have October is birthday filled. I mean, it's like everybody in my whole family is in October. It's crazy.
My mom's 74th birthday would have been October 14th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm not going to the jury selection. I've been through all that before, and it's boring as hell.
Oh, I was just gonna say I wouldn't want to watch jury selection necessarily. No, I'm just fine, seat the jurors. Let's get on with the trial.
Because I'll be able to do if we're able to have enough seats to get in the trial, I'll be able to tell when Richard Allen's seated and the jury's brought in. I'll be able to tell by looking at those jurors when they're scoping him out and what they're thinking, what's going on in their head. You can just tell by their body language and their look in their eyes and stuff when they get a glimpse of him.
I think what's interesting about jury selection is that in these kinds of cases, they have professionals that are good at jury selection, and they know what questions to pose to jurors and all of that. I mean, there is you could teach an entire class on jury selection and how it happens and what goes on. So in a way, it's extremely interesting, but Frank's right. It's kind of boring because they just go through the questions and questions and questions, and each side can say, we don't want that juror for whatever reason. They don't have to give a reason. They can just say, we don't want that juror. And then, they've got so many of those that they can use.
All right. Well, we're at an hour and 15 minutes, guys. I'm ready to shut her down. I'm tired.
He's had a long day because he's up early, and God knows we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with motions. So we know
that Nick, just be prepared for Nick to drop his response to both of these either tomorrow or Wednesday. That's all I can tell, because he's pretty quick at getting back to responding to this stuff. So, you know, I just want to get off here because I've been on here 4 hours in 2 days, and that's just too much for me.
I hear you.
You know, so
I hear you.
Well, thank you
for everybody being here and supporting Frank. Appreciate you all very much.
You mods, thank you so much. You had the chat in chill mode. Thank you. And to Kristen, thank you, ma'am, for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. And to everybody else in the chat, love you. You know what time it is. Peace out. One love, guys. Good night.
Good night, guys.